Who better to talk about Father's Day than the father who wrote Good, Good Father, Mr. Pat Barrett?
Yes.
What a great, a lot of pressure there, really.
I mean, it's an
I don't
oldie,
know about that pressure.
It's an oldie but goodie at this point. But when you think of that song
Yeah.
in context of Father's Day, what comes to mind?
Ooh, that song feels like, well, it was written when my daughter, at the time we only had one kid, have three now, and I haven't slept in 12 years. So I remember not feeling the way I thought my dad would have felt in the same stage.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't necessarily just feel like all dad, like I just felt like the same me, but now I have a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, is what it felt like. It's overwhelming in a good way. So those are like the life stage things that were happening when the song was actually written. And I also, I have like a pretty vivid memory of me and all my friends just having pretty different experiences with father figures in our life. And usually it's like one of those things you do put an adjective in front of that word father. Like good dad, working dad, absent father. Like it's a word that usually has an experiential like adjective.
Yeah.
And I remember just remembering like I learned way more from watching my dad than just like taking the lessons he taught me verbally. I learned way more by what I saw than what he said.
Yeah.
Truly. And I'm dead serious about that. I remember that being something I wanted to give my kids. I wanted it to be as much to unlearn about God as possible, because their first association with that word father is not going to be with him, it's with me. Yeah. And then they take that experience and then it'll be like, I wanted to make that gap as small as I could, you know? So, do you believe God is with you? Like, yeah, because when I was with my dad, he was always kind of there. That would be an amazing lesson to just like be second nature. I don't do that perfectly, but I remember writing that song. Some of it was aspirational, and a lot of it was knowing, like, feeling all the pressure, like, I'm going to be the one to introduce my kids to the most important relationship they will ever have.
Yeah.
And someone who'll love them more than they could ever dream or know. And it was something I also needed too. And it's this weird, like, commonality, like, both me and my kid need this same fatherly relationship with God, which is a wild thought, and it was a beautiful one too. So that's what I think about, especially with that song and fatherhood. It was like, oh my gosh, that song was written around the time I was learning to become a dad, or I had become a dad. I was learning to try my best to be a good one, and also being confronted with all the shortcomings of my own life that I need God as a father as well. So, yeah, it was like a beautiful time in my life. And I know it's an oldie but goodie. I still sing that song in my heart all the time. Because I'm like, I need this right now.
Yeah.
I need to remember all the things I tend to forget, you know.
As a dad myself, there's another song of yours that has absolutely been wrecking me. And it sounds like it wrecked you too, even though you wrote it. It may never be on the radio, but I'm like seriously in tears as I listen to Hopes for You.
Yeah.
Any parent should go listen to this song immediately with a Kleenex. Because, oh man, the line that gets me is, "Oh, don't settle for the easy road. The hardest things will make you grow."
Yeah.
Because no good parent wants their child to suffer.
No.
I mean, if I could wrap them in like bubble wrap and send them out into the world, I absolutely would. Like I would do that for my kids. But I mean, I think you want your kids to have a better and easier road than you have. But we know that our strength often comes from our suffering. Like that's where growth happens in difficulty and struggle.
I remember my grandmother and grandfather used to have a plot of land with a vineyard on it, and the best vines, that produced the best fruit grew in the worst soil.
Wow.
Because the roots had to fight.
Oh.
Mm.
And I always found that's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
That the easy road, like you go through moments that things just it feels like water down a hill. Like it doesn't mean all of life has to be a fight, but it does mean the avoidance of the things that produce like perseverance, and like all those lists in scripture that are like suffering leads to perseverance, which leads to this and leads to that. Like if you avoid pain, or you avoid the hardship, or you don't confront the things in your life that you're like, ooh, if I don't deal with this now, someone else is going to have to suffer through it as well. Like those things produce good fruit. And usually the most joyful people I've ever met have been through the most hardship. Mm. And so for my kids, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think about the song was written as a prayer for them. And then when we went to record it, it really messed me up because we were, we got the band arrangement all right. Like everyone knew their parts. And then when I started to sing it, I realized I wanted it for my kids so bad because I actually want it for me too.
Yes.
I want to feel, I imagine God singing it over me the same way I sing it over them. And so many places in my life where I didn't have, there's a verse, grace, have some grace for yourself and have some for everybody else. Yes. God knows we need it.
I love that line too.
I'm like, oh my God, like I needed this for me as much as I wanted it for them too. And so I don't know, there's something about realizing, even with your kids, like we're all in the same boat together. And I can't shield you from anything. And God doesn't promise to shield you from hardship, but he promises to walk with you through it, which is a far better reality. Because then all of a sudden, you're not as scared of the suffering because he suffers with you. And I think there's a powerful hope in that is not like there's a powerful hope in knowing that the circumstance doesn't have to change for me to feel good, or to feel held, or to feel loved, or to feel like God is with me. We just had a family trip together, and I'm watching my kids grow, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if they can, I hope they learn the things faster than I did. I resisted some of those lessons for a long time.
When I listened to that song, as a 52-year-old woman, I look at life and I think sometimes it's easy to think, well, you're on your way down. This is like the downside. But I kind of think I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
And that song, I wanted that for myself too.
Yeah.
And so I think it's beautiful that it can be for your kids, but also for someone in my life stage who was like, okay, what's next? Because this doesn't have to be the beginning of the end.
Right. I
love that.
I think that's why, like, if you take all those sermons from Jesus and you can allow them to not just be like, here's a great quote to think about, like, the older you get, the more powerful it is to be reminded to come like a child.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like this is like, if you want to know how to do it right, like you do it like this. Mm-hmm. You feel everything big.
Yeah.
You trust big. Mm-hmm. You're not, I can't remember the last time I met a kid completely debilitated and fearful about a mortgage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen it. Yet to see it. And there's a natural trust there that is still with us if we let it, I find those simple things more and more profound now, and will continue to be. I think that's why even now I'm like, discipleship to Jesus isn't like, oh, you're not on the back half of discipleship. You're still, you finish a race faithfully. You run hard to the end. You hold fast. You have all those commands and invitations that are like, oh no, there's strength left in here to walk in a way that is inspiring and fruitful, and like, it feels miraculous to grow younger.
And all of those things lead to hope, and hope doesn't disappoint.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Pat, thank you for your time.
Thank
You're
you.
always a
Thanks
treat.
for having me.
We have loved
Yes.
every second of your time on the show, man. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for your heart.
you.
Thank you.